It's Friday, August 21st, 2026, and this is the Washington Times front page. Thanks for joining us. I'm George Gerbo. Before America was born, women were already fighting for her. From Abigail Adams to Agent 355. Experience America's untold heroes through immersive cinematic storytelling unlike anything you've heard before. Meet the Defiant Ones. Listen now on the Washington Times or wherever you get your podcasts. 25 of the world's best IndyCar drivers will speed around the streets of D.C. this weekend for the Freedom 250 Grand Prix. Liam Griffin reports the 147-lap race will feature cars hitting speeds of 170 miles per hour around parts of Washington's monumental core and the National Mall, including in front of the U.S. Capitol and down Pennsylvania and Independence Avenues. Sunday's Grand Prix is the latest in a series of events to mark the nation's 250th anniversary. Like previous events, this weekend's festivities required a substantial logistical lift. Growing tensions between Israel and Turkey threaten to superheat a Middle East that's already close to boiling. Jacob Wertschafer reports Israel this week bombed an older Syrian airbase that it said was being retrofitted to host Turkish forces. Turkey denied the claim and condemned the Israeli strikes as reckless overreach. No casualties were reported. The bombing was followed 2 days later by about 100 Israeli soldiers entering a Syrian village, which drew condemnation from Turkey, Egypt, Saudi Arabia, and even the United States. A new Treasury Department analysis finds the decrease in illegal crossings at the southern U.S. border with Mexico has led to a decline in the financial activities of smuggling cartels. Stephen Dinan reports FinCEN, formerly known as the Financial Crimes Enforcement Network, found 67,540 reports of suspicious transactions linked to suspected human smuggling, totaling nearly $5 billion. But the vast majority of those occurred in 2023 and 2024. By the last half of 2025, when new Trump administration policies had fully kicked in, fewer than 2,000 reports were flagged each quarter. Consumer advocates are calling out an increasing amount of trickflation in the marketplace. Sean Salai reports the practice involves the repackaging of goods in taller or fancier containers that are higher priced, but offer less substance. Advocates say food companies have quietly embraced the practice since the pandemic to hide price hikes and dissuade customers from switching to cheaper generic brands. Business analysts say companies are using market research to develop packaging and slogans that are aimed at lulling customers into sticking with brand name products. And finally, Jeff Murdoch talks with Massayam Sabidian, who fled Iran in the late 1990s, about the state of his home country. He said he and other expatriates are tired of President Trump's mix of diplomacy, targeted strikes, and military blockades, prolonging a war for 6 months after the president predicted it would only last 4 to 5 weeks. He said the only answer is to stop treating Iran's leaders as negotiating partners and instead empower their opponents to drive the war to its end. Find all of today's front page stories at WashingtonTimes.com/front page or on the Washington Times app, and find us wherever you get your podcasts. You can also find us on social media at Wash Times for breaking news, sports, commentary, and more. For the Washington Times, I'm George Gerbo.
Marketing is hard. But I'll tell you a little secret. It doesn't have to be. Let me point something out. You're listening to a podcast right now, and it's great. You love the host. You seek it out and download it. You listen to it while driving, working out, cooking, even going to the bathroom. Podcasts are a pretty close companion. And this is a podcast ad. Did I get your attention? You can reach great listeners like yourself with podcast advertising from Libsyn Ads. Choose from hundreds of top podcasts offering host endorsements, or run a pre-produced ad like this one across thousands of shows to reach your target audience and their favorite podcasts with Libsyn Ads. Go to libsynads.com, that's Libsyn, ads.com today.